We still have biblical famines in the 21st century. Every 5 seconds, a child of less than 10 years of age dies as a consequence of malnutrition on a planet with unprecedented wealth and surpluses. It is the inconceivable shame of our time. The human right to food does not seem to exist. How can you live in dignity when you are dying of hunger?
ንሳ ሞይታ ትህፃን ግን ህይወት ነይርዎ ላጠወ ብጣዕሚ ክትልዕሎ ሃሞ ክትገብር እውን የፀግማልካ ነይሩ ከፍቲ እውን
ካዚ ግን ሃሊቁ እዩ ላተሸጠ ላተበልዐ ምሕደር እንትፋስ ላተገበረ በቃ ሃምታድር ካብ ቤተክርስቲያን ንረኹም ጓ ሃማያ ነይራ ክሻዕዛ ገዛዝያ
In this film, we will follow 2 individuals in the East African country of Ethiopia. The first, a strong-willed woman from a village in the Tigray region, representative of many thousands of other villages. At the end of the 20th century, this region has been hit by a famine unlike any other area on the African continent. But what are people doing today, proactively and on the ground, to better cope with the impacts of a lasting drought and the political systems too often failing to deliver relief?
The United Nations has been told the famine across 4 countries is now the biggest crisis for the organisation since it was founded.
We stand at a critical point in our history.
And we have to be 100% sure that we dispatch this food as well as the South Sudanese operation.
The second person is a man who has dedicated his life to dispatch food to those left with nothing, to those on the brink of starvation, relying on the international community to prevent the unimaginable.
I will go personally to the warehouses and check if these foods are moving, and we will see. So I'll get back to you. This is November 1, do you copy?
What insights can we gain from both of their worlds? And would there be a way to proactively link grassroots initiatives, political frameworks, and emergency relief to bring an end to famine?
We just had a verification assessment of people affected by the conflict, and I'm going to brief you on the major findings of this. Is the boundary. This is the Somali region. There has always been conflict at the border area because of different reasons: pasture, water, clan conflict. But the nature of this one is unprecedented, as explained by the community. As a result, now we have people displaced, properties damaged, and there is still tension. The country's defense force is deployed. The number of displaced people over 300,000, but the entire region, it is 578,000, so more than 500,000. We are talking about pastoral areas that suffered already 3 consecutive years of below average rain performance. Is going to be extremely overstretched. So this needs urgent attention and urgent response. So just to show some pictures, this is what they are putting on to live in. And this is where they want to sleep on. People were emotional when they saw this. It was really, the situation was so sad. What do you think this is?
It seems porridge.
It's actually water. It's water from the pond. So they showed us this is the water they are drinking. So these purification chemicals provided by UNICEF are urgently needed. Food support must go to these people urgently. It will be life-saving. If it doesn't go urgently, it won't help. There is no proper sanitation facility. An outbreak of disease is evident. All medical facilities are now out of any emergency drug supply. It's urgently needed.
What do you think will happen within short period if the response does not arrive? Have we already started or we are still talking? Because now there is no need of talking, it's time to act. You made assessment, but sometimes even the assessment by itself, it needs not to be put as a priority number one. If still we are waiting time and we are still talking, what will happen to these people? How many children will die there?
When we asked the government for initial briefing, they said to us, we need food in the vehicle you are using for the assessment. We give you the number of people affected. That's all you need now. Get food assistance to these people. If not, we will soon see ugly pictures.
Maybe because I'm a mother, and I know, always women feel more than the men.
Yes,
When
it's
you
true.
talk about protection, I was also seeing that there was sexual abuse.
We have seen children without parents. Like the wife is here, the husband is not there.
Yeah.
The husband is here, the wife is not there. 2 of the children are here, 3 children left, and stuff like that. So yes, there are huge protection issues out there.
What is expected from us to do?
We have to take extraordinary action on this one. Because these IDPs don't have any other means of survival. They entirely depend on this food. So there is so much expected from our office on this one.
So you can count on us.
Thank you. It's okay.
حدرها هاي سرح لغي عصد له نادى حدرها
صبغ دعاتي
صبوينها
قنجعيو
قنجا
صبغ قوعي
صبق قوعيه بدي العصر خانيرها خو خالي
زيا شمول مالئيا زيا با شمول مالئيا زيا شقوطيا زيا غرئيا
واي يخوني
زيا تايما ديا زيا
زيا شمول مالئيا
هو زيا خما زيا لكو لملم خوينا بحفتايا
زيا لملئيا زيا
هو
زيا ماتو تايدي البهال سمو دهاني
شقوطي غوجديا
وجوغ
وزيا شحانيا
زيا ما شحان
هو خزي زيا حريغون خالي حمام يخون زيا تصاوريتيا
زيا
هو زيا اي تصاورينا خرمت
ما
ايدن
يتوحدتلو زيا يا
هو ما يتوحد
تطورنا مالتي
هو زيا ما يتوحد زيا تطورنا
مهرتل تعتخ زيا دتخون
هو سايا
زيا تا مهرتل
سانا مهرتيا
هو هيدي مسلكا انه لما زي تحوسنا يين هنا لوين يفلي حميقو حر خوينو
هو
تسقم حر خوين تو حميقو تسنداي وصل
سنداي وصلنا
حدي يقنططل
حدي يقنططلنا كاو صبق يعتلنا صبق مهرتي صبق خستا يعتل
حدي قلتي شكتنا تزرينا يا جن يبللنا
Yes, Mike, good morning.
Fred, listen, I just got a call from South Sudan. There's an area they've been trying to airdrop into for the last 2 weeks. A lot of displaced people there. They've been unable to get approval from the authorities. They just got it, but the window is short. They've got to drop tomorrow afternoon latest.
We have TSA food, urgently to be dispatched to the IDP areas in Borna, Guji, and Bali. And this is very, very critical. Can we do both jobs?
Fred, you know our team here? Of course we can handle it. The TSF is already under loading, but we've got to get instructions now to load urgently for the airport. Yeah? 2 to 3 trucks for South Sudan airdrops. The window's tomorrow. It's got to go or we lose it. It's only got a 4-hour window.
I have the commissioner from Oromia DRMC calling me every 2-3 hours to make sure that this food is dispatched. And we have to be 100% sure that we dispatch this food as well as the South Sudanese operation.
They are coming out of different warehouses. We'll get them there.
Okay, Mike. So I will take this. I will take personally. I will take this very seriously. I will go personally to the warehouses and check if both these foods are moving, and we will see. So I'll get back to you.
Okay, right, I'll go on it. I'll start calling the warehouse managers, get this moving.
We need to go to the warehouse very urgently. Please come.
Okay. I'm ready.
A matter of urgency, the UN declares that parts of South Sudan are experiencing famine and warns that by July, half of the population will be without a reliable source of food.
Over the last 150 years, agricultural intensification, worldwide trade, economic growth and social security nets have made people less dependent on local harvests, thereby reducing the impacts of drought. However, every year we still hear alarming news about hundreds of thousands or even millions of people threatened by famines. Human conflicts, war and corrupt political systems, in combination with droughts, are the primary reason for large-scale famines today. Thus, much more than food has to be delivered to prevent droughts from becoming impediments for development.
ዝተخل زي مع زديته تخيلو
حمله
أو حملة ماي مستايخة مع جميرو مخصخص قاله
ما جميرنا ينابز خزيو ما مسقارصنا جميرنا
لمتاي خيتقم
لنفاسي هيوتيو ماي ام تقاميو ام تليو ماي له نفاس الله طعنا له
ما صبغ دا يقبللته بتا خي
صبغ يو حابزنا عون بتعمي لمشفانس بتعمي دسلالنا
يا امر اللي تاي نوعلو امنتي نوعلو طقمي بعلو بوعلي حل لي منغست لورد لمبه اغلال يبرس وي تقبلنت ليول يخونه حلاو كون لول بلي منغست ديرلني مالت
استنايو يطقمنا بتعمي بقى تقامي
معنى يدق او حوس ولا مساعتهم تعرفته تمرخ قالي عتن تخنيا لا تتخيل العلب بالها كاوزن تعرفهم خفتهم ارارمهم انا لاوزي تخلخ يلا بانك ارشي كم صمي كاوسخه ما غيرها ارارم حتى غزا هاي ارارم حتى الواز خن زوده هذا مجمرتا لزخلنا مدحانيت يكون لنا ام حاصر ገንዘብ ከይበልዓልና حاصر ይናይና ተخلናዮ بلي ماي لصدق دخناي خزي اخليس يخوللنا ገንዘብ ከይበልعኦ خالي لا ندادي يخونلنا እዩ وبصحيسو ኢሉ قلطفي باصحلنا كاولت اخلي يدحنلنا بالع يبلعو كاوله لقاستاله لا قددنا نغورو نداد غني يخونلنا እዩ نداد لي يخونلنا እዩ ጎጀለ ስርሕና እዩ ገዛማ ካውላ ቀደድና እንሰርሒና ገዛን ሰርሐሉ ቦ
This is November Foxtrot 1 and we are reporting from the office to the warehouse, over.
زي من يسرحوا
بعلي
زي كاخ ما زي شنباقو
كاف داجر قسم تنايو
تهر تصرحوا
هو
تأخلق مع زيو تعصيدو
حدار ايش هذا
ذيك إني تحصلوا
خبرك أيوكا
كبرخ عودتهم لمتهم
نال خارم أيو
طيب ما خريمهم قا ليت بلع
كيف تسأل الوحدة أو علاج على روح سقور توصلنا على رخص النعنا آخرنا إننا هو تخاور لنا زوج زيلهم لزو درك جن هو لو إننا لنا إننا
وديك أسيلا
لقرات اللي حربت البرخاء حزعنا هو يتكم لو كل المشاريع المشلا يتكم
سنتاي لطافيكا يتكم
هاي اللو حانش خالو العطاف اللو لبلو
خازو خعيتكم دهم توصوا
هو
بنتها توصوا يهم
بقرات غير يلو غزون بارغلا غورهم البرخاء بارغيو
تاي ساعات خت وصوا
ما بالواقع يل نسنس كاو كحرس روح سيو زي هذه قاي ري قاي زي وزيس بقاي ناوط كشع تحساس طرينا
ورقني اكب
اي ناوط ري
مزيل مشداي ورقني
رايا
باي بقى دنبኛ እዩ
لفلس يو دي
واي صباق من سلاسنيا سايه صبق كومبوس باني اكم
Back to the office, over. Thank you, out. ትክክል እኮ ናቸው አይሽ
Do you have some lines about press release?
Sure. According to the latest humanitarian requirement document, there are still 8.5 million people in need of emergency relief assistance. And we as WFP are supporting 3.3 million out of this. But the country is still on track in achieving the intended goal of ending hunger in 2013. We continue to engage with the government, work in partnership with the country to achieve these goals.
همي كيف العقار
بين خدخي بين هذا تعوضي
هاي بيني لك قالت خوينه لوينه يحسن تحر لك قالت خوينه سي بين خايس بقسل عو تصصص للو مستوسب لبين خايس
نشوف انا هسخي حاضر خيتولنا منفي زيانتنا تحجنا
تحت
هو يا امس خذ هذا دفترك تحزيه
البوز بنت ديالها انا مرة
سكر ولا هذا عشان كذا هون عخون قلنا هنرد لنا دما نخما خزاله خمسة لا ولا فكان انا خريك خمي كم لعبه كم تاول صار
زي أنت أقولي زي أتصل كأجن زي أطنبق إلى قالي كأجن زي أطنبق إلى تيا فتاويته قاخي واقع هندي بل واقع هندي واي واي لو غيرك حسوي تقول لنا زور ولا زور ولا تقول لنا قايتن حلقه سويله يلا يصلحنا ولا ايه وانا استاجي لا زللكم متينكم تاخو خوين في حديقيا صادق ما تحش الناس الخدها وقالي انت عسراهي وكاي من صرف عسرا وانا كده واي يبلي بيت نيروا امن سو مسدلتي قدامي يدي غزاخي ناغاني اخ اخبا ناغاني اخ اخبا اي عادي تبنا اهل بزع حوسك واي يفوني فين كدي مس عسرا غزي ايو باي سيسا 7 8 حدش دي مالك ايواني عشر تغلطتونات
November bed, this is November Foxtrot 1. Do you copy?
Copy November Foxtrot 1.
November Foxtrot 1 is departing for warehouse and we will report from there. Stand by, please.
Standing by, over.
November base, this is November 1. Do you copy?
November Foxtrot 1, November Foxtrot base, message copied.
Please stand by until we report departure of the last trucks from our warehouse. Please stand by until we report that. Is message copied, over? አንደኛ መኪናስ ሰላም ነው? አንደኛ መኪና ይችላል ጀርባው ያኛው ጫነ
For millions, the United Nations World Food Programme often is the very last lifeline, an organisation that struggles with ever-decreasing funds, while the total number of those in desperate need of food keeps rising again. We found ways to orbit this planet, to walk on the moon, and yet we seem to be tangled up in debates of what causes a famine. For decades, demographers would blame overpopulation, overlooking the fact that no famine has ever slowed down or stopped population growth in any of the affected countries in the long run. Mass mortality as Darwin's balancing check on mankind is as much cynical as it is an illusion. For far too long, famines had been brought into monocausal relationship with rain, defining it as a pure natural phenomenon, making it a God-given plague. In the Anthropocene, where we humans have altered the planet's climate significantly, be it through local deforestation or the global burning of fossil fuels, such definition falls short of any explanatory power, trying to naturalize something that is deeply political. A governance analyst would identify the root causes in political power struggles over resource access, genocidal politics, in some instances the deliberate withholding of food by the international community, as well as disastrous experiments in social engineering. That the severest famines in the 20th century occurred in authoritarian states is a point in time. Mao's China, Stalin's Russia, Pol Pot's Cambodia, Mengistu's Ethiopia. That virtually every country experiencing a famine in the past 20 years has suffered from conflict, another indicator. Economists would add, it is because of the imperfect markets that purchasing power is missing, the means for production not available, or the integration into global food markets not yet achieved. Those more critical of the prevailing economic systems might add further, there is no legal or moral basis for expecting unregulated markets to meet subsistence needs. Although our understanding of famine is incomplete, and each famine is driven by a case-specific set of circumstances, famines happen because we allow them to happen. Contemporary famines are socio-political processes much more than anything triggered by the prolonged absence of precipitation or by population increase. Purely drought-induced famines seem to have receded into history, being superseded by political famines, pointing towards a crisis of our own human consciousness and structures. Early warning systems monitoring our planet in real time since decades are no more than space debris if the information is not translated into political action on Earth. Too often, there is a fatal delay between early warnings and timely response, rendering all sophisticated technological advances to monuments of irrelevance. The last century has seen the highest number of people dying from starvation, with more than 70 million deaths. This is not only the highest number in all of human history, but it also occurred at the precise historical moment when the technical capacity to abolish famine was first achieved. This may be humanity's greatest indictment. To see an end to famine, we need greater political accountability and a transformation in our consciousness that will be visible in our institutions and on the land. We need to substantially invest in the recovery of ecological systems, healing the scars of landscapes that still bear the legacies of the past, actively restoring soil fertility, rebuilding hydrological cycles, researching improved crop varieties, expanding sustainable irrigation agriculture, investing in proper storage facilities that reduced post-harvest losses to zero. We need to provide access to microcredit and insurance schemes for times of crop failure and establish a banking system that serves society and not the other way around. Along with improved interlinkages between short-term emergency relief, these measures will enhance the resilience of any given household. On a political level, national drought policies need to be formulated that proactively enhance these measures. And a first anti-famine accord needs to be established at a global scale. The international community must demonstrate, without delay, the political will to unconditionally prevent the preventable.
بدحريو دماناي ساعة شوعتي تاي تقعد تاي درك نيرو
ولا يفتات اللي مثل دركتات سدركتات ون سلالله أوز خز جزية جن منم لتدرك أسي كتك عكاي خلي منجست ون بزح دقفات يقبر اللي خلي يترف إخلي صحي ذي كم موتي ترفه شكوار تيترفه ولا أخلي التوحيد كوا أفتش عايز تجزي كل شكوار ستيخال تعلو اللون يا نغري خذ ده أبو الناس ستيخا شكوار ستيخال على الجزية أيو ما يتدم ما يسلا لزعه ما يقول ستيخال على الجزية اللي من قستوني تحاور اللي تناش عايز تجزي ده في كار حل من اللي تحاور نيرديو.
I wish to see a world where you don't have people suffering from lack of food, which is a right, which something everybody is entitled because they are human beings. So I wish to see a world without hunger, because it can happen, it can be done.